as we go into the Gilded Age, the second Gilded Age of America, it cannot be a surprise that the convicted felon administration has dropped investigations into 165 different companies that had been going on through the DOJ.
Yeah, this is kind of one of those more disgusting stories that definitely flies under the radar, but everybody needs to be aware of. We had companies like Meta that was facing a massive antitrust, Google, same thing, healthcare companies, and all of these companies, most of them I should say, not necessarily all, have a thing in common, and that is they spent a lot of money on Donald Trump, either directly through the campaign or once he was elected and he raised more than $200 million for his inauguration, more than anybody has ever raised in history. Because these companies knew exactly what people like Vladimir Putin know, and that is Trump is the most easy person on the planet to manipulate. You give $1 million here, you give him a compliment there, you can get whatever you want. And so these companies took advantage of it, and Pam Bondi at the DOJ says, great, I can start scratching these off the list of investigations we need to do, and these companies get away with it. And we are talking about destroying small businesses in some instances. We're talking about price gouging American consumers, poisoning our air, water, and land. Gone. They get to keep doing it.
Well, and this comes on the heels as we're getting developing stories that there's a spreadsheet from the White House that ranks companies on their favorability scores by Trump standards. Not the good of the American people or anything like that, is how loyal, how, kiss ass they are, and if you're number one, you get more stuff, I guess. You win the cutesy doll. But you also have the dismantling of the Bureau of Consumer Protection. We're removing all guardrails while rewarding the most obsequious company to dear leader. It's truly terrifying and something we've not seen in this country before. It's really a mirror of how Vladimir Putin rose to power.
Yeah, and look, speaking of guardrails, we heard from Trump last week how much he hates seeing those things along the interstate and roads. He called them medians, but they're guardrails. But that aside, we have these rules and regulations and investigations for a reason. These were companies that were breaking the law. These were companies that were poisoning people. These are the companies, you go up against, multiple times a year. UFC, just like Pap has seen, after decades of this, the dirty, disgusting things that these companies do. And yeah, the lawyers can hit them for money and they will pay it. It's a cost of doing business for them. Where the real enforcement comes in is supposed to be the Department of Justice. And when that fails, there is no justice. There is no way to really punish these companies for what they've done, what they're doing, and what they're going to do. Because when you let them start getting away with things, it always escalates and gets worse from there until it hits a point where you can't ignore it. And that's the path we are on. We will see more poisonings, we will see more monopolies, we will see more price gouging because this administration just gave them the green light. If you want to do it, put $1 million into my Make America Great Again Incorporated super PAC. And these companies know $1 million, that's cheap. We can do that every week if we felt like it. That's the message they're sending.
Well, and the civil division of the DOJ was already anemic. There already wasn't enough of them. We already saw a decreasing enforcement, even under Joe Biden, but it's been accelerated to an alarming level now under the Trump administration. Plus, you're seeing veteran attorneys leave to go into the private sector to make money and not be with this investigation, while Pam Bondi is also diverting all her resources into grinding hatchets, to investigating the Obamas and the Clintons, and I'm sure, weather, they've talked about weather manipulation and things like that, and filing misdemeanor charges against protesters in California. So they're really got some really important stuff to do, so they cannot be investigating the next Enron or the monopoly or media conglomerates that pay nonsense to the Trump administration under the guise of a settlement, say. Those people are allowed to have a merger that is clearly just should not have been.
Yeah, and again, this will continue because everybody around the planet knows the key to getting what you want from Donald Trump. And that's why, that recent meeting with Vladimir Putin was so horrible. That's why Donald Trump went to North Korea and talked about all your waterfront property with Kim Jong-un. That's how these countries in the Middle East have avoided any kind of part of the trade war because they've been given $2 billion here, $2 billion there to Trump's crypto company. He is the most easily manipulatable human being on the planet. And yet MAGA still goes out there and says, no, this is a deal maker. This is the manly man they portray him as. He's the superhero. No, he is a pathetic coward that would sell all of his MAGA supporters for a candy bar.
Well, and he is. I mean, speaking of candy bars, I was just reading some articles before we came on the air about the price of chocolate, the price of spices, the price of pretty much everything is going up 20%, 30%. We're seeing inflation run away. Beef prices are now the highest they've ever been.
Yeah.
And we're all being squeezed by this. But his concern, again, is to fly to Alaska to have this summit with Putin that accomplished nothing other than Putin feeling like he came away really winning.
You had members of the military on their hands and knees literally rolling out a red carpet. You don't get more disgusting than that. That is absolutely a disgrace to the U.S. military that Trump had them do that. That pisses me off tremendously.